Hi, there's lots of rubbish on telly and in social media at the moment about strategy, and there are lots of examples, both at the international level and at the national level, of strategies that are failing. So I thought it'd be helpful over the next few weeks to do a series of short vids, 2 to 3 minutes, that look at what strategy is, look at why developing strategy can be so difficult, and look at why so many strategies fail. And in doing this, I'm drawing on the strategy book I wrote a while ago and also some slides from a course I deliver in developing and implementing effective strategy, which was recently endorsed by the Chartered Management Institute. So let's start with a few views of what strategy is. And it's a contested concept, so there are lots of different views, and none of them necessarily agree. So let's start with ChatGPT, because everybody seems to use ChatGPT in their work now. I'll read it out because I know some of you are looking at this on a phone and may not be able to see it. So, strategy is a high level plan designed to achieve one or more long term or overall goals under conditions of uncertainty. So, we kind of like that. It's got long term, it's got uncertainty. If you Google it, and this is the Google AI definition, strategy is a comprehensive plan for achieving one or more long term goals, often under conditions of uncertainty. Let's have a look at a couple of other views. We'll start with Richard Rumelt, currently one of the best-selling strategy gurus. His new book, The Crux, came out a year or so ago. He thinks strategy is designing a way to deal with a challenge. A good strategy, therefore, must identify the challenge to be overcome and design a way to overcome it. Okay. Max McCann, another strategy guru, very active on social media. Strategy is about shaping the future. It is about how people attain desirable ends with available means. Let's move on to a definition you may well be familiar with. This is the strategy is ends plus ways plus means. This was first published by an academic at the US Army War College called Arthur Leich, and he published it in 1989, but still the definition is one that lots of people will know. In his article, he explains that the ends, ways, and means are like the legs of a stool, and if they're not aligned, then the stool will tilt and that will create risk. The problem I have with this definition is that I think it describes a plan, not a strategy, because it takes no account of the uncertainty of the future and the challenges and opportunities that's likely to create. It just kind of assumes that if your ends, ways, and means are aligned, then your strategy, which is trying to affect the future, will be just fine. And of course, the real world isn't like that. This is my favorite definition by Rich Yager, who is another distinguished academic who taught at the US Army War College. And I like this because of its simplicity. And he says strategy provides a coherent blueprint to bridge the gap between the realities of today and a desired future. Effectively, he says that strategy is a journey from where you are today to a desired future, which is why many people describe strategy as a bridge. Let's develop that idea a little bit. We're bottom left. We're trying to achieve a desired vision or end state, which is top right. Our strategy is the bridge that's going to get us there, and it's built on a foundation of values. The area around the strategy is the strategic environment in which we operate. And the problem I have with this is that the strategic environment doesn't look like this. It looks like this. We have no idea what's going to happen in the future as we start to implement our strategy and begin our journey toward our destination. But we do know that the environment in which we're operating and implementing our strategy is going to change. Lots of things are going to happen over which we have very little and often no control. And these things include economic downturns, social movements, conflict, political upheavals, disruptive technology, and perhaps most importantly, the actions of other actors, because they have their own strategies, they have their own bridges, which are trying to get to their own futures, which may or may not be similar to the one we're trying to achieve. They may be in competition with us, they may be supporting us, they may be against us. So the key to developing an effective strategy then is understanding how the future is likely to unfold, and then being able to exploit the opportunities it creates, as well as developing the solutions to the challenges that are also likely to appear. And the trick, and now you're beginning to understand why many strategies fail, the trick is working out how you do that. How do you understand how the future is going to unfold as best you can? And so there you go. Next time we're going to do futures and we're going to try and understand how we get a better feel for what the future might look like and what other actors are going to do, and how events and actors' behaviors could create opportunities we could exploit and create obstacles we're going to have to overcome. If you can't wait for that, you can get the book. And if you have any observations on what I've been saying, do stick it in the comments on this post, because I do think a bit more discussion about strategy would be a good thing at the moment, because there is just so much really poor strategy around us. Thanks very much indeed for watching.